It's Monday, and you know what that means. It's IndyCar night on iRacing. Hello again, everyone. I am Gary Godso, and I hope everyone watching is having a wonderful Memorial Day in the USA, and I hope everyone has had a great time watching the 2022 Indy 500, something I'm sure we will talk in depth about tonight. Welcome to Championship Monday and race first coverage of the final round of the Season 2 22 of the Monday Night Indy Fix Top Split, coming to you from the Texas Motor Speedway. As joining me in the booth for expert analysis from the NHR eSports team and the Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by Butt Kicker is the birthday boy, Stephen Larkamp. So tonight we'll decide the champions for this season. The battle for Division 1 looks to be a foregone conclusion, but the battle for Division 2 is very alive. In Division 1, the battle looks to be for P2 between Orman, Franzoni, Murphy, PDF, and Ragon. While in Division 2, the boss man, Matt Houston, has an outside shot to take the lead from Cabral. So in your assessment, who should we be keeping an eye on tonight for these last 75 laps of the season?
Well, very definitely. I'm keeping an eye on the battle between Orman, Franzoni, and Murphy. That battle has been very close all season. Three very talented drivers, and how they perform here will certainly dictate it. But I'm not going to be casting aside that battle for Division 2, an equally tense battle right now between Cesar Cabral and Matt Houston, two drivers we love to have on the program. And I would definitely think that given their drive for their own championship, it may well weave itself into the narrative of the battle in Division 1. Of course, adding to that is the fact that our championship leader, Adriano Pinero, has once again decided to sit this race out. So he's not going to be competing tonight. He pretty much has the title on locks at the moment. So this is going to be a very, very interesting battle in two regards, really. And honestly, I think, given the conditions I'm seeing here tonight, cool track temp, there's going to be a lot of chances for drivers to make aggressive moves, and those aggressive moves, if done correctly, they can decide championship.
There we go, following Bruno Miranda with the Yuko's Hollinger eSports team. They had a rough Indy 500. Good thing Callum walked out of that. He had a hard hit in turn 2, along with a whole bunch of other. There is Jesper Orman looking to make a qualifying attempt right now. Chris Lulham is on the provisional pole with about a minute 40 left here in qualifying with a 2:17.304. So here are the IndyCar records you need to know for Texas. The kart qualification record is from the ill-fated Firestone 600 in 2001. This was kind of the start. This was really the death nail of kart when they canceled this race. But Katie Breck turned a lap of 2:33.447 miles per hour around a mile and a half oval here. It was on the older configuration. Billy Boat holds the IRL record with a speed of 225.979, turned in 1999. He again on the older configuration. The IndyCar current record is on of course, the new configuration that was set in 2017 by Charlie Kimball, who is no longer racing in the series, with a speed of 222.556. Getting all these, of course, from racingreference.info. So if you're like, hey man, I don't see that on Wiki, sometimes I use other resources because we really know how accurate Wiki is sometimes. Career wins leaders here at Texas. Dixon, we'll talk about him for sure, with 5. Castro Neves with 4. Hornish with 3. Newgarden, Power, Sharp, and Goodyear with 2. Stand by in the garage area. It's almost time to go racing. About 28 seconds left. With that, it's time to look at tonight's starting lineup. But before we do, hey, Steven.
Hey, Gary.
Would it surprise you right now if you knew if half of everyone watching tonight have not subscribed to this channel?
Oh, whoa. Shock and horror.
According to YouTube Analytics, 50.9% of you are not subscribers. So let's change that right now. Help us on our drive to 1,000 subscribers. If you enjoy race first coverage of the Monday Night Indy Fix Top Split and you respect the weekly stream, please do us a solid and make sure you support us by subscribing to us. We have less than 200 subscribers to go, so to get to that 1,000 magical 1,000 mark. So help us by hitting that subscribe button right now. We can't get there without you. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash the like, click the bell, so you don't miss out on future Race First iRacing broadcasts. And now let's get into it in Texas. And with tonight's starting lineup, it's Stephen Larkamp.
And one of the drivers we're looking at in that battle for second in the Division 1 points, Rodrigo Franzoni is taking pole at 24.091. Pablo Diaz Francis is number 3 machine alongside him at 24.156. Chris Lullum in the number 26, the lowest rated driver in the top split, though definitely still a high rating by many metrics. He starts off third tonight. Very good qualifying run, alongside the 4 of Mark Murphy, another big name to look out for in the Division 1 hunt. Another one of them, Jesper Orman, starts 5th in the number 2 machine, alongside the 7 of our old friend Dakota DeMade. Matt Mercer's number 14 starts 7th, alongside the 10 of Bruno Miranda. Hopefully he can have a better run than Juncos did at the Indy 500 with Callum Ilott. Row 5, Alexandre Ragon in the number 6, alongside the 22 of Matt Wagner, rounding out your top 10. And then the 2 drivers in the battle for the lead in the Division 2 points, they start alongside each other on row 6. Matt Houston in the 16 ahead of Cesar Cabral in the number 8. That's going to be an interesting battle for sure. Trace Shadid in the number 5 starts 13th, alongside the 12 of Stephen Lee. Aaron McQuarrie's number 17 and Gil Ribeiro's number 19 start 15th and 16th, row number 8. Row 9 will be Nate Siefker's number 21, alongside the 9 of Adriano Fraporti, once again having to dig himself up from a rather mediocre qualifying effort. Brian Spots in the number 20, alongside James Kennedy in the number 24, rounding out the top 20. Row number 11 will be Masato Shimizu's number 13, alongside the 18 of Alan Morea. Stephen Bencomo in the number 25 starts 23rd, alongside the 11 of Cameron Baustian in 24th. In the final row of the grid, the only 2 drivers that didn't qualify, NASCAR regular Ryan Duquette, alongside the 23 of Bruno Romanzini. Duquette driving the number 1, so he's going to have to do a lot of work to get himself up there and get himself some iRating out of this.
Well, we'll stand by and call on the opening lap, but man, we're going to have a lot of people to keep an eye on tonight.
No doubt about that. This is going to be a lot of fun, I think. And after the fun we've had on Memorial Day weekend, it's only fitting we have it on Memorial Day.
They're making that crawl down the slightly less banked side of the racetrack through turns 1 and 2. That's 4 degrees less of bankings down there. It's also a little bit wider. Now they're going down the backstretch, heading into turns 3 and 4 that have kept the original configuration at the time of their building at 24 degrees in 3 and 4.
Very, very interesting. The difference is that both ends of the speedway, rather similar to the new configuration at Kentucky Speedway. It's had its detractors in many ways. I myself would admit to be one of them. But it can lead to interesting racing, as we saw in the Indy cars this year in real life. But now in the virtual world, let's settle a championship. Pace car is off. Franzoni holding them back, waiting for his turn to put the throttle down, and now he goes. Green flag flies. PDF trying to stay in lockstep with him, but it's Franzoni that gets away really well. Lullum on the low side by side with Mark Murphy for 3rd, and he does clear him, but here comes Murphy around the top side. Can he make the move work? Looks like he's going to try, and here comes Jesper Orman making it 3 wide down the back straightaway.
Going to the wall, backstretch. Alexander Ragon.
Alexandre Ragon already in trouble on the back straightaway. Trying to see what happened to him. I did hear Matt Mercer on the radio. A little bit of concern there. Oh, yeah, it looks like a self-spin, single car incident, in fact, involving Ragon.
Yeah, let's take a look at this here real quick. Again, we're going to see a lot of this tonight. Look at a lot of this tonight. We've seen this in Open. We've seen this in IIS. We've seen this just about every time we come here and race. It's coming up to speed and getting loose off of 2, and watch this car as it just kind of comes right on around, and there it goes into the wall. Thankfully, it was just him and no one else. But we're going to see some of that tonight. These cars are going to be really loose on the restarts and starts.
Very fortunate indeed that he didn't collect anyone. And we were talking earlier with both Matt Houston and Dakota DeMade. The common consensus is this track is loose tonight, and the night conditions we're running in with the cold track temps on cold tires, it doesn't exactly help the case here. The track temp only 80 degrees, far away from the hundreds that we're used to seeing here, and that has a massive effect on how these cars handle, especially on fresh rubber. And is that Jesper Orman shooting around the pace car? And I'm getting word over the radio. I'm seeing why Orman is doing this. He's pulling off to reset his wheel. He's having some wheel issues that he's hoping to resolve on the fly.
Oh, wow.
So that number 2 machine is sitting still on the back straightaway right now. And apparently Orman's saying he has the issue in hand at the moment as the pace car catches up, and he will rejoin, it seems. So crisis averted, it would seem, for the number 2. Very close, very scary moment, I would say, especially when you're hunting for a top spot in the points. As everyone gets themselves into order here after all that's happened, it's still Franzoni, PDF, Jesper Orman up to 3rd, Mark Murphy, Chris Lullum with a rather rough start there. He had to back out from being in the middle 3 wide there. I'd say that's a good move in any case. You're still in the top 5, and it's still early days.
Yep.
Yeah, working lap number 70, working lap 3 out of 75 here tonight. And of course, everyone will have to make a pit stop. The consensus around the pit stops will be to be about 50 laps, the maximum drivers can run on a tank.
Well, this is going to make them go a little bit longer, of course, with this caution. But, yep, if there were no cautions whatsoever, we'd be looking for the window to get to the end, opening at 25 or so, 24, 25, 26, somewhere there. And then getting to the end, if you wanted to go until the tank goes dry, we're talking about another 50 laps or so. With this early yellow, it's going to extend that just by a couple more laps. But still, no one can make it without making a stop at this point. So now, if we're going to have a lot of caution, that might be a conversation. But right now, still very, very early. Everyone's going to have to stop. 2 pairs of additional set of tires for everyone in the pits. Indy Fixed uses 3 sets of tires, 1 that you start the race with, 2 more in the pits. So when these guys do dive off, they'll be going for those new set of tires for sure. So again, early to be diving in for anything, unless you're at the back, and maybe it's just worth topping off.
It could well be. And if you are at the back, I'd say that is a good gamble to make. You're not losing much track position, but you may be gaining a strategic advantage.
And I'm showing Matt Wagner out already.
Yes, Wagner. Oh, I'm seeing on the entries list, Wagner is in the process of a connection failure, sadly. He seems to be out of it, but green flag flies again. Franzoni underway. Tough break for Wagner, but a great start once more for Franzoni. PDF now falling a bit further into the clutches of Murphy, but Lullum has cleared Jesper Orman. And actually, that was a really rough start there for Jesper Orman. I'm not sure what happened to him, but as they head into turn number 3, Murphy staying up there with PDF, and PDF is starting to climb all over the rear wing of Franzoni. Here he comes. It's a big run into the tri-oval, looking to the outside, and he looks like this will get a lot of momentum here off the corner. There, not quite enough at the moment. And now Franzoni playing defense.
Yeah, Rodrigo went to the inside. I don't want to say blocking, but definitely put a defensive line into turns 3 and 4. Had to keep Pablo Diaz Francis at bay. Little early from still doing that, folks. But okay, all right. He's now setting the tone for how he wants to be raced.
It is still early days, but Franzoni, as now I'm seeing Orman to the inside of Murphy for P3. He clears him quite handily there as PDF once again looks to the outside. And now, tries to duck back in the line there. Orman was there, though.
Yes, I think PDF tried to come down and get that spot to close the door, and he just could not get down there quick enough. Orman got there, got a wheel in there, and PDF second thoughts about that. Here comes Murphy now back on the attenuator. He's going to take a look at the inside going into turns 3 and 4. If he can hold it, that is the faster line around, and he should be able to pull off the pass just like that.
Yep, low line definitely the preferred 1 in 3 and 4. 1 and 2 is a bit more of a question mark, because as much as some people would deride the way that this track has been handled in real life, here though, without all the adhesive on there, as Orman once again gets a monster launch off of turn 2. That's the sort of thing I'm talking about here. You can run different lines there and see what you can make work. A higher line can definitely work, especially with momentum off the corner, as we just saw Orman pull off as he gets back up to 3rd. And now look at the run he's getting on PDF for 2nd.
Yeah, Murphy got really close to the wall on turn 2 exit, and I think that might have allowed enough of a crack of the throttle to check up the momentum of his run there to allow Orman on by. But Orman is now back behind him again going into turns 3 and 4. Here comes Bruno Miranda.
Miranda to making himself known in this fight. The winner last week at Indianapolis. He's looking at last week at Phoenix, I should say. He's looking to the outside now of Mark Murphy. A lot of momentum lost for Murphy there as he clears him there. And Miranda up to 4th. Very well done for him. But this lead battle hasn't gone away in the slightest either. PDF, Franzoni, and now Jesper Orman firmly establishing himself as a player here.
7 cars
Caution
really
is out.
Caution on the racetrack. Let's see. Not really seeing for Porty.
Is it? I'm seeing a checkup towards the rear. I'm not sure, though.
I don't even know where it was.
Trying to see who that was. Do we have someone falling down the order right now?
Not seeing anyone following down the order. I'm not sure.
And I am seeing another driver, by the way, who has had a connection failure as well. Stephen Bencomo in the number 25 has had a connection failure as well. So him and Matt Wagner both out of contention.
Yeah,
Wagner has reconnected.
Yeah, I can't tell you where that caution came from.
Unless
you can find
bizarre.
it. Well, you can find it.
I do see Bruno Romanzini seems to have lost some positions there, but I'm not sure if he was the cause of it.
Yeah, normally what you do is you see who's rapidly falling down the order, and no one was really falling down the order at all in this particular case. I'm not sure who did what and where. Let's see, Shimizu. No, Shimizu. I'm looking at people that are actually on pit road showing time. Of course, theirs were gone from earlier. Not really seeing it. Okay, well, if someone can identify that and let us know, we'll be happy to go back in the Wayback Machine and check that out. But we are currently under caution here at the Texas Motor Speedway. If you're just joining us, this is race first coverage of the Monday Night Indy Fixed Top Split coming to you from the Texas Motor Speedway, where we've completed 14 of 75 laps tonight. If you're enjoying race first coverage of tonight's race and would like to monetarily support our commentary team, make sure to donate via our GoFundMe link in the description. For your convenience, and so you don't miss out on any of the action on the track, you could donate right now and still listen to our call of the race. All you have to do is right-click on the link in the description, open our GoFundMe page in another tab, make a donation, and just like that, you're done, and you can come right back here and watch racing with us here on the Monday Night Indy Fixed Top Split. It's just that easy. Thanks a lot, and thanks for joining us tonight on this last round of this season, as we are going to crown a champion, maybe multiple, as we're paying attention to the Division 1 and Division 2 championships at the moment.
Speaking of that Division 2 fight, both Cesar Cabral in the lead and Matt Houston in P2 in those point standings, running 10th and 11th respectively. They started alongside each other, and they have certainly not lost each other at this point. So it's going to be interesting to see what each driver can play to give themselves a leg up. In Matt Houston's case, he's probably going to have to find a strategy that will give him a lot more track position over Cabral if he wants to definitively jump him in the points right now. So it's going to be interesting to see what Houston can pull out of his hat on this one. He's been very consistent all season. Let's see if he can pull some strategic trickery when the chips are down on this.
Right behind Matt Houston is the Formula Indy Series Season 2 champion, Nate Seifert, right there. He is already up 5 spots. Right behind him is Trey Shadid, and then right behind him, Aaron McQuarrie, driving for Team Scours, and one of their orange liveries. Gil Ribeiro right behind him in the lovely Brazilian-looking livery there, kind of reminiscent of Christian Fittipaldi from 95-ish. Here's our NASCAR ace right there. There he is. He has moved up to 22nd. Coming up behind him, Adriano Forporti. Right in front of our NASCAR ace is Cameron Bostaine. Cameron, someone I've run with in the Velocity Online Racing Series.
And another driver who has had great performances so far this season, but really on a bit of a struggle bus right now, even though he started last. Bruno Romanzini running 19th. I believe he came in earlier, though, under the first cycle there to top off, though. So he might have something of a strategic advantage as he's actually
I think a whole bunch of people are right there from him on back are going to stop off one more time and top off those tanks one more time. You get a few precious more ounces of fuel. Maybe they can go a little bit longer, and you never know, in that time when they're not pitting, something happens on track. You saw it kind of at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway this week when there was a caution and just beating the caution, Connor Daly managed to go right back up to the front just by timing it right before the caution. So very similar situation here.
Indeed, and in the case of with as much caution as we already have 2 yellows so far working lap 16. If they really do expect that more cautions are on the way, which is definitely not an impossibility, even with the caliber of drivers we had, because this track, as we mentioned before, has caught out a few people already. I definitely would think that if we do get a lot of yellow, these guys could be in a good position strategy-wise here because they're topping off their tanks. And while I don't think they'd be able to make it with green flag running with a lot of yellow, it may be able to work long term.
We'll see. We're still about 9 laps or so before anyone can pit to go to the distance. So we will see how this works out. Green flag. We're back underway. Lap 17.
Franzoni once again with a good launch there from PDF, trying to stay with him again. Jesper Orman now has Bruno Miranda to contend with over him for P3. Meanwhile, Mark Murphy in 5th. It's got Chris Lullum all over him for 5th and 6th. Not quite able to get the run there was Lullum that time. But now I'm looking at PDF, looking to the outside of Franzoni for the lead. Still side by side there. PDF working that higher line there. Does Franzoni wash up there? Yes, he does there. And now PDF looking aggressively
below the white line. Wow.
Tried to peek below the white line there. Not quite working. Jesper Orman now. He's smelling blood in the water. He wants in this fight. And once again, PDF to the high side. Can he get a better launch this time? Orman all the way up high, and so is Bruno Miranda, trying to get that monster launch off of exit, and he does so again. PDF looking low. Not quite enough.
He's going to get one of those runs where he's going to get that just that in plate in there, and Franzoni might come down on it, and we're going to have a big wreck. So Franzoni's got to watch the way that he cuts down. Now keep in mind, this is still early, so if Franzoni loses the lead, he can get it back. These guys are sprinting like there's no tomorrow.
Franzoni again aggressive on defense there, and Orman again, he's sensing all these opportunities he's got. I'm looking behind him though, Miranda and Murphy side by side for 4th, but this lead battle right now, this could be an interesting turning point in this race. We're only working lap 21 here, folks. As Gary said, it's a bit early to be this aggressive on this. But PDF, not quite getting the run there, but Orman got a great run there off of 2. It seems to be a recurring theme there. Orman working that really high line in the middle of the corner, and it gives him some great momentum off it. You see it once more. Him and Miranda running higher lines as PDF works to the outside now. Franzoni, he's got the run he needs. Still side by side, but Franzoni still got his front wing in there. He does have to concede. He gives room. Still wheel to wheel through 3 and 4. Francis trying to get the run there. He's remained side by side. Jesper Orman seeing this opportunity, thinking, yes, boys, yes. Please keep fighting each other.
Murphy.
Murphy to the low side of Miranda. They're side by side. Once again, PDF with the run. Francis not quite enough. Not quite enough to get up alongside him this time. But now here comes Orman taking advantage.
Starting to sneak into the picture. Look at P7. Stephen Lee in that Samsung car.
Stephen Lee, a great start for him. Started 14th, currently up to 7th. A pretty quiet but efficient start right now to that number 12 machine. But meanwhile, I see Murphy and Miranda still trying to duke it out for fourth. Orman now to the inside of PDF, and he clears him this time. And now Jesper Orman is the head of the train, fighting Franzoni for the lead. He works again that high line, and now PDF working the very top.
Orman trying to capitalize on the racing's god's goodwill to those of Sweden's. A fellow Swede won the Indy 500 yesterday. Jesper Orman looking to win the fixed Texas race today. Of course, a Swede holds the track record here, so it is a very common Swedish theme. And look at Mark Murphy diving in full send right down there on the bottom, sent into the fourth spot, though, side by side with PDF.
Bold play there from Murphy, but Miranda once again has the run on the back straightaway.
Franzoni tried to slam the door on Orman. I think Orman was there, but Orman, I think, might have decided to let Valor be the better part of discretion there. Or discretion, the better part of valor, let's put it that way. Here's PDF on the top side around Orman. Orman cleared him, so now he's back to third, and here comes Bruno Miranda on the outside.
Miranda sticks his nose in on the high side there. Not quite enough to get the run he needed, but PDF got the run he needed for certain. And now he's going to be trying to run down Franzoni once again. This battle has not let up in the slightest. Also, I should note, we are in the pit window right now, so anytime these guys come in, just a little side note there. But PDF, once again on that high side there, gets the launch on exit. But Franzoni will still be on the inside with the momentum he has to the inside in 3 and 4. And looks like, yep, he will hold them off there. And here comes Orman again. Franzoni still holding that low line there. It's not giving him a lot of momentum here. But it has been playing strong defense and been a strong defensive line, especially in 3 and 4. And now Francis trying to use that low line again, trying to steal it from him.
I got to think, though, if Francis gets his nose there and gets a end plate in there, he's not going to let up. And Franzoni's going to come down or up on it, either wherever that is going to be. And we might be looking at some contact, but we'll see. Here comes Pablo Diaz Francis.
Gotta be very careful with how you play this. Franzoni once again defending down low into 3. Jesper Orman again with the launch once more. But the problem Orman seems to be running into, which he resolved that one time, is that he hasn't been able to clear PDF. Oh, he does now. Now he shoots around the outside into P2 again.
Oh, and we're riding along with PDF right now, and he had the roll out of it big time, or he was up into the wall. And you just saw Orman scoot right around big time, almost like PDF was standing still. But now PDF looking in the draft of either one of these two. Both these cars punching a big hole in the air. All Pablo Diaz Francis needs to do is find out which hole he would like to follow there.
And another thing to consider as well, I would say, is that Orman and Franzoni are in the hunt for second in the Division 1 points, as PDF now once again gets a launch on the low side there, and he will clear him, it would seem. So move Orman back down to third there. PDF with the launches when he needs it. The thing is, though, Franzoni has all the track to run in defense, and we're under yellow again.
Cameron Blastain, as we have his in-car camera. We will go back a time here a little bit and see what happened. Multiple cars. For Porty is one of them.
Porty in it, too.
And let's go ahead and get the Race First 1 airship involved here. And let's pick it back up. Coming off of corner number 2.
So they were 3 wide there.
Wow.
And
trying to see.
And that was Ryan Duquette on the low side there, avoiding both of them.
I don't really know what who's it. I don't know. Chat, go ahead and make your call on that one. Let's go ahead and let's ride on for Porty here. Everyone's going to be pitting, by the way, so we're not going to worry about covering pit stops at the moment. But let's check out for Porty.
So
we might have went back a little bit farther, but we'll see how this develops here.
So I noticed kind of an odd situation, by the way. They took a long time catching up to the pace car right now, and they came onto pit road with a hefty head of steam, all these guys did, as Franzoni and the leaders all make it into their pit boxes. Oh! Miranda spun on pit road. And he's having a very hard time getting it into the box right now. But that is disastrous for Miranda.
I gotta say, if anybody in chat wants to make a ruling on that one, I think in my assessment, Cameron might have came up on Fraporti. I don't think Fraporti came down. It looked to me Fraporti was holding his line. But let's get the Bruno. Who we got? Miranda had the issue on pit road. So let's go ahead and go back in the Wayback Machine on him and see what happened.
That was a very awkward situation, to put it one way, for Bruno Miranda. Trying to see, as he comes into his pit box, there's a car in front of him. I believe that's where going. Oh, he locks up the rears and spins it.
So
almost makes contact with another car there in the lane, and he has a devil of a time trying to reverse it back in.
Yeah, I think at some point he should just went ahead and put it in forward, and when it came back in again, that might have been the best way to go. He lost a lot of time on pit. He's going to lose a lot of time anyways. He might have just put it in first gear and worked his way around and repitted again. But he is going to be way back at the back. Let's see.
Probably 21st, it looks like. So disaster there for Bruno Miranda, who once again had a spectacular run going. Great result. He won last time out at Phoenix. So this is certainly not over yet, as we're nearing the halfway mark of this race, but that is going to be very difficult to recover from.
Okay, we got a couple people on alternate pit strategies up front. Masato Shimizu, excuse me.
Yeah,
Shimizu and Bruno Romanzini are now up at the front. They pitted on lap 16, so they are on a slightly different strategy. However, they are on extremely kind of old tires at the moment. So we will see how well these guys hold up front. With a whole host of cars right behind them with new tires, starting with P3 Franzoni.
And the thing I'm wondering, especially here, alongside the tire situation for both Shimizu and Romanzini, is the fuel. Of course, they pitted on lap 16, so they were fuel saving quite a bit already, but they are probably going to be running a lower fuel trim, and they're going to be trying to conserve as much fuel as they can under green flag conditions here. So Shimizu and Romanzini may well become the cannon fodder, as it were, for the guys on fresh tires behind them, not just because of tires, but because they're going to be running flat out to the end at this point. As we're on lap 37, they can definitely make it from the end here.
We shall see. We shall see for sure.
Lights out on the pace car, it looks like. One lap to green once again.
So resetting the field after this caution, Shimizu, Romanzini, Franzoni, Pablo Diaz, Francis, Jesper Orman, Lolham, Murphy, Seifert, Lee, and Mercer make up your top 10. Right outside of the top 10, Shadid, Cabral, Houston, DeMade, McQuarrie, Spots, Morera, Ribeiro, Kennedy, and Doucette. He's also here in the top 20. And then we got Miranda, who's going to try to recover from a awful pit-in attempt in 21st. For Porty, 22nd. Balstein, 23rd. Matt Wagner, 24th. And Ragon in 25th.
Let's see how this bold strategy plays out for Shimizu and Romanzini right now. They're going to be leading the field to green flag here. Coming to lap 38 of 75. Pace car finally peels off in the hands of Masato Shimizu. Waiting for him to put his foot down. Waiting. Green flag now. He goes for it there. I never really liked those restarts, but it is within the rules right now. As now Franzoni looking to the high side there. Oh, PDF takes advantage of it. Down to the low side he goes. in 1 and 2. And he does clear him for the effective race lead. And now he looks to the outside of Romanzini for second. Beautiful move there from Pablo Diaz Francis as he works his way around Romanzini. Cautions out once more now. But what a brilliant restart there from Pablo Diaz Francis. Well done to him. Very aggressive move, but it paid off.
Not sure where we had the issue again.
I did hear Brian Spots is one of them.
Miranda.
Miranda and Brian Spots seem to be involved in this one. And looks like a real jumble at the rear there. And Miranda was just an innocent bystander on that one, and I can even say the same for Brian Spots as well. Made contact there. I'm trying to pick out who that multicolored car is. I see Ribeiro on the low side. Alan Morea was in front of them. That's Nate Siefker. Siefker was the one who Siefker was trying to duck out of the way of Morea. Drifted up high, and contact there with Spots and Miranda.
Wow, that just a lot of cars traveling at different rates and different closing rates and whatever going on there. It also looked like Dakota DeMaid was running slow on the going into that turn as well. He might have had a black flag passing someone at the start. So interesting. So it looks to me that Miranda might be out. They can repair these things, but he is going to no longer be in contention for the win. And Spots, I believe, is done as well.
Yeah, Spots, Siefker, and Miranda all have the meatball flags displayed to him. DeMay doesn't have a black flag showing for him, though. It may have been just a poor restart for him.
Well,
he's down in 19th position is Dakota DeMay. It's been a rough night all told.
Shimizu he's got going on exactly what he wants at the moment. He wants a lot of caution and a lot of carnage to happen to slow the pace of this race down behind him. He is still maintaining his lead. We are a little bit more than halfway through the final race of this season. And if you're just joining us, this is race first. You're watching actually race first coverage of the final round of the Monday night Indy Fixed Top Split coming to you from the Texas Motor Speedway, while Matsuda Shimizu is your leader, and we currently have about 35 laps to go in this race. So thanks for joining us. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. We do have a IIS race later this week coming to you from Belle Isle. You want to check that out. Also, definitely check out our coverage of the IIS Indy 375. A great three-wide finish there, capped off by a win. Kind of was a preview of the weekend by Jesper Orman. He won that race there as well. And kind of the preview of the weekend with Marcus Ericsson winning later in the real race. So while we're going still under caution here, let's go ahead and we'll talk about this weekend's Indy 500. As, of course, we love everything IndyCars here. Your thoughts on the red flag?
It's hard for me to call that one. I know we discussed this earlier about how in 2014, when the red flag came out for that race, it was because they needed to repair the track surface. This one seemed a bit more that they wanted a good finish in, and that they possibly screwed over Marcus Ericsson at the end of that race there. I mean, it's hard for me to really say whether it was good or not on that one, whether from consistency or from an entertainment standpoint. But I will say this: Marcus Ericsson wholeheartedly deserved that win. He got the win he deserved, I think. And I like Pato Award, but even he would have admitted that it wasn't quite his day. He even said in the post-race interview that Ericsson was going to put him in the wall if he actually stuck that move in turn one.
Yeah, I'm not everyone here on the broadcast knows how I feel about the NASCAR gimmicks, the finish gimmicks, the green-white checkers, the double file restarts, the lucky dogs. I mean, all that unnecessary stuff. You win the race on the racetrack. When we had our last red flag where they stopped the race, I believe, which was for the attenuator getting destroyed at the end of the which would have been the August COVID race they had in 2020. That made sense. They weren't going to get that thing fixed in any time, so no red flag, just finished under the caution. There you go. Same thing here. When even though, unless there was something we didn't know with the wall, and the wall being probably had a hole punched in it that they would have to repair. If there was nothing to repair in the wall and they could have naturally got the surface clean and ready to go for a natural restart, then by all means, let's go green. But stopping the race just so everyone there can see a green flag finish. If you want to see a green flag finish, go to a NASCAR race. You know, that's what I have to say about that. But we're getting ready to go green here. We'll talk more about it later. But, yeah, not into the gimmicks that we see here. In IndyCar, I just want to be straight up natural racing.
And we're going to get natural racing for certain here tonight at the very least. Shimizu on the throttle there. PDF now looking to take advantage and and go up to the race lead for once tonight. And, of course, Shimizu, he has to fuel save a good bit if he wants to have a shot at the result he wants right now. As now PDF looks to the low side there. Shimizu leaves the door wide open. Ooh, a little bit squeamish there from PDF. And Shimizu does clear him. He holds on to the race lead. And Romanzini now looking to make it interesting too. 3 wide behind them. Lullum and Franzoni. Ooh, and almost putting Lullum in the wall there. And here comes
Shimizu hits the wall, and that puts PDF into the lead.
That looks like broken suspension from Shimizu right now. But
yeah, that's day
now
done.
Move Romanzini to P2, and Jesper Orman with a lightning restart up to 3rd position once more. And now with Romanzini again, one of those drivers needing to save fuel, he works to the high side, clears him handily. Meanwhile, behind him, Stephen Lee getting around Chris Lullum for 5th right now. Ooh, and almost a little bit of contact there on the way past. But moves Stephen Lee from 14th position up to 5th, and not on an alternate strategy either. This has just been raw track position gain. And Franzoni now, again to the high side of Romanzini. He clears him again. Once again, of course, Romanzini does need to save fuel, but now Franzoni's got some work to do to catch back up to Orman and Francis, but it's very definitely possible. Starting lap number 47 right now. Behind all this, to the high side. Almost some contact there. Lullum to the outside there of Romanzini. Here comes Stephen Lee, making the move now up to 4th position for Stephen Lee. That's 10 spots he's gained so far tonight. Beautifully done. Actually checking that, that's 9 spots, I should say, up to 5th.
Yep. Romanzini's up 20 by virtue of staying out here on this last pit window, and he is right now has got Mercer on his 6th and a battle for 6th.
Mercer looking to the high side again. I'm sure he realizes that Romanzini needs to save fuel here. He can take advantage of this. Let's see where he goes. I'm hearing heard something back there. I thought I heard an engine explode back there. May have been someone on pit road, perhaps. Very unfortunate for them. But now, Franzoni, I'm seeing, gets up to 2nd place ahead of Jesper Orman.
Alan Morera got loose coming off the backstretch. He looks like he managed to recover it. Let's try to get the camera back on him, yeah. But he is getting passed by Dakota DeMade there on the high side. So he is extremely loose at the moment.
And now, looking at this lead battle, Franzoni working that high side once more in 1 and 2, looking to get a launch on the backstretch there. And now it's PDF who's playing the defense game right now, the same as the battle before, but in reverse. Franzoni looking to the high side now. He got a ton of momentum last time by. Let's see if he can do it again and make it stick as we're working lap 51.
You see the last lap speeds last time by. Francis 2:13, Franzoni 2:14, Orman 2:14, Lullum 2:15. Nothing like dogfighting at 210 plus miles per hour.
Nothing much in racing is quite like it. And it's amazing how they're able to pull it off, especially, and keep their cool about it. It can be hard at times, but it's still exciting and enthralling stuff nonetheless. Franzoni looking to take any possible mistake that PDF makes and trying to maximize momentum here. But Jesper Orman, I'm seeing right now, I think he's clued in pretty early on that these guys are battling it out pretty hard for this race win.
Hey, let's move eyes back to P11. This is championship implications at hand here. Matt Houston, P11, looking to the inside of Aaron McQuarrie. He's going to probably get the position here, very close to it off the exit. There he goes. He is now into the top 10. He is now 5 spots ahead of Cesar Cabral. Cesar Cabral is continuing to fall back as he gets passed there by James Kennedy for 16th, and he seems to be struggling now.
Cabral tumbling down the order there. In fact, got below 200 miles an hour at one point. Generally not a good sign in these cars. Yeah,
206.674 last time around. So he is well off the pace versus everyone else. Let's see if it's a strategic thing. He did pit on lap 35, so he is good to go to the end. Might he be damaged? Might he have some other issue we don't know about? Here comes Mark Murphy, who was up with the leaders a little bit earlier. He is going to pass him to the inside, move up to 17th. So Cabral is falling down the order at the moment, down to 18th. Matt Houston maintains station now up in the top 10, and this is exactly where he needs to be and wants to be in order to make a run at this Division II championship.
And with the points difference we have right now, he would likely take over the division lead at the end of this race if it stays this way. And of course, we still have a whole week's worth left of racing for things to change on that front, but so far a good start to the week in that regard for Matt Houston, up to 10th.
So in the big picture here, we got 2 teammates back here in 10th and 12th. Dakota looks like he's recovered a little bit from whatever he had happen to him during that restart. I wonder if he can make his way up to Matt here and help protect his backside while Matt tries to move forward. Right now, it looks like the starting to look pretty strung out the field, with the exception of the top 4. So we might have need another restart in order to get more positions to help them get further into the top 10.
Very true. And Dakota is already having a good battle right now with Aaron McQuarrie, but he would want to get around him very quickly.
Matt's up to P9 now, up around Bruno Romanzini. So Matt Houston now up inside the top 10 now in the closing stages of this final race of the season.
Very good stuff from Houston.
Car in the wall in the backstretch. That is Morera.
Alan Morea in trouble right now, and he's in the wall once more in turn number 3. I see broken right front suspension on that 18 machine. Can he get it down? No, not quite. As everyone else tries to work around him right now, Morea is either going to have to do another lap or pull it off on the apron right now, which he's trying to do. Yes, he does. He pulls it off pretty well right now. Let's see if he doesn't cause a caution right now.
No caution.
No caution right now. And he'll likely keep that thing on the apron, working his way back to pit road as more cars go around him. But I'm looking once again, the battle for second. Orman to the outside of Franzoni going into 3. He almost has him cleared there. This battle has not let up in the slightest, and Chris Lullum right now has become the interested spectator.
Like Dakota's now worked up to P10 as well, and he's right behind in that protection position for Matt. Right in front of Matt, you have Doucette and Shadid racing each other now.
Oh, Franzoni almost chopped Orman's wing off on the backstretch. He is not going to be happy about that.
No, I know Jesper, and that's not going to make him happy at all. And if Jesper gets an opportunity, second he hears clear, he's going to cut down on him, and we'll see if that impacts how these two race going forward.
Might have been what Franzoni was hearing. He heard the word clear, and then he starts to cut down on him, not knowing that, yes, he does still have the front wing of that number 2 machine to the inside, as now Orman working on the high side this time, and also worrying about the 26th of Lullum. He works out to the low side now,
looking to go
trying to stick him, make it 3 wide.
We're still going to go 3 wide. It's the top and middle position swap. Now the top and middle position swap again. 3 wide to the 3. It's not going to be that easy, folks. Going to stay with 3 wide through 3 on the exit. Clear. Everybody through.
And again, Franzoni almost cutting the nose off of Orman right now. I'm sure that they're not going to be getting any Christmas cards from each other after this race, perhaps not for the foreseeable future. But Franzoni, and all this battling, has led the number 26 of Chris Lullum, lowest rated driver in the split right now, running second. He's been having a pretty quiet but consistent night so far. That number is not really reflective of what he's been able to put in tonight.
And with 10 to go, this is giving exactly what PDF wants. He now has a 2.2 second lead over Lullum. Lullum, who has broken away a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. Is going to try to run this group down. But in the meantime, if Franzoni and Orman continue to race behind him, he'll separate from them. But really, these guys need to start working together now, and I don't think they really want to do that right now. 3 wide again. Here comes Jesper Orman to the bottom, turns to 1 and 2 down the backstretch. He's going to be clear, and he's going to look at set up to turns 3 and 4 to pull ahead of this group.
Orman does get the pass done there, and that forces Lullum onto the higher line. And now Franzoni looking to take advantage of that, and he lost momentum. He can't. He gets a great launch again to the high side, and there's a lap car right now. I believe that's Bastian.
Yep, Bastian.
And he does
yep.
Yeah, Bastian lets them go. Still side by side for P3. Lullum to the low side. Franzoni on the high side there. Lullum will have the advantage once again. That low line is easily the preferred 1 through 3 and 4, and he does clear him once more.
Mark Murphy working his way up into the top 12 here.
Franzoni almost getting into Lullum there. Massive arrow push in the middle of 1 and 2, and he lost a ton of momentum. Didn't hit anything, but now he's drifted back into the clutches of Matt Mercer in a battle for 4th.
Here we go, looking for the battle of 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. This is Shadid Doucette and Houston. Houston up another position, up into top 8 now as he moves to the inside of Doucette, and now moving. Don't matter.
That might have been. Matt Houston needs a change of undergarments after that.
That might have been championship done at that point, but he's going to try to recover. He still has 6 laps to go, but in the meantime, Cesar Cabral is back at P17. So finishing the battle is half the battle. That's what he needs to do. As we see Pablo Diaz Francis now with a 2.8 second lead all by himself.
Then PDF living the racer's dream right now in a sizable lead. And the guys behind him only battling it out here as Lullum still within the wheel tracks of that number 2 machine of Jesper Orman. Might not be enough to make it a Swedish 1-2 in 2 different days, but it's still going to be a good result championship-wise for Jesper Orman, as now even more so since Matt Mercer has gotten around Franzoni for 4th.
Yeah, man, I think Mercer, with just his really aggressive running and handling, I think has spent his tires. I really think that's what's happened. It could be me. I could be wrong, but I really think that his aggressive running there, the protecting and everything, has probably spent his tires, and those tires are probably dead at those points. We'll see. Here comes Stephen Lee. He's been part of this battle too. Let's see if he can run him down here with 3 laps to go.
I'm into 2 laps to go now. PDF over the line right now, starting lap 74. But meanwhile, Jesper Orman and Chris Lullum are fighting it out for second. We'll see actually behind him if Stephen Lee can indeed close back up. He was quicker than him last time by, but not by too much. Let's see if he gets the momentum he needs on this one. As Jesper Orman off of 4, sees the white flag in the air. A handy win it would seem so far, unless something tragic happens on the last lap. As now Jesper Orman still having to deal with Chris Lullum right now. Lullum, let's see if he can get the run off of 2 for the final time. And not quite enough there. Orman able to cover very well, but it is PDF. Pablo Diaz Francis off of turn number 4 finishes the season in style. He will win at Texas.
Carl Lewis coming off of corner number 4. That's Orman.
Oh. Jesper Orman in trouble, and he is in the wall after that.
He got loose off of 4. And he was just full sending that thing. And let's try if we can. Now I wonder if he's gonna get a penalty for that. How's this gonna shake out here?
That was contact actually between Lullum and Orman, and he across the line there. He got bopped 2 laps down for that incident.
That would have been a 40-second penalty for speeding on pit road. That it could have been served during the race, so they gave a 40-second penalty. And let's go back and look at that one more time just to...
Unbelievable.
Let's get on Chris's roll bar here. I don't know. Did he actually hit him?
It looked to me like there was contact. Very slight one, but it was enough to send him around.
Okay, watch from here. Yeah, I mean, it's close enough that if there wasn't contact, netcode could have taken over. You know how these cars are. But that gives Lullum the P2, Mercer P3, Franzoni P4, and Stephen Lee P5. So, wow. Interesting. A lot of guys doing donuts here on pit road. Happy of their season-ending performances.
Wow. A very entertaining season gets a very entertaining finish, I would say.
And
what a way to cap off
looks like Trey
weekend.
Shadid's car and Mark Murphy's car were trying to do something that shouldn't be on video, but
oh my.
Oh my, indeed. All right, well, let's take a look here at the final sub. But before we get there, don't forget to make sure if you enjoyed today's race, thumbs up everything. We really, really appreciate it. You do a big favor to us as well. And do subscribe while you're at it. You're doing us even bigger favor if you could do that. And don't forget, you can donate if you enjoy our performances. Let us know. Please donate. All right, let's take a look and see if we have anybody in waiting for an interview right now at the moment. No. So let's do this here real quick, and then we can, if we don't have anyone for the interview, we can probably talk about how we thought of the season and everything. So let's just stand by and give a couple people a couple more minutes. See if we get somebody that'd like to pop in and say hello. I don't think we're going to have anybody this time. That's fine. That's fine. A lot of celebrations going on. It's a holiday weekend. It can be a holiday weekend for anybody, for that matter, this weekend. So here we go. One more look.
I see Orman, by the way, in there. I'm sure he's got a few things to say.
What do we have him officially finishing at? 17th. I know he's going to be upset. I know he's going to be upset. Jesper, hold on there. We'll talk to you after the race. I know he's going to be upset, and I think he has a reason to be. And if that's, I don't know, it might be worth a look by the stewards. Of course, you know that these races are not live timing and scoring, not live stewards or anything. So it'll be tough to. That's a tough call. That's a real tough call. So I don't know what anybody says in chat. But no one's made the ruling in chat, so we'll leave the ruling stay there. But it looked awfully close, did it not? Steven?
Oh, sorry about that. I was, Jesper Orman was actually messaging me in Discord right now.
Okay.
What was the question again, Gary?
It did look awfully close, did it not?
It was really, really close there. I did see contact from where I was looking at it. The nose of Lullum's car did seem to make contact with the rear attenuator of Orman, but it was a very slight contact. Maybe, like, if it was the real world, it may not have been enough to send it around completely. He could have saved it, but I think iRacing may have misjudged it as being a lot more than it actually was there. So I definitely see like, we all know the reason why Orman would be incredibly frustrated by that, but that probably would be even more so.
I'm not quite sure what we got for standings here, if they've been updated at all. We'll take a look there real quick, and then we'll send everybody on their way. Purple lap of the night was Bruno Miranda. Unfortunately, that's the only good news he had. He had a 24.6 there, I believe. And we'll see here if we have any updates here in the Division 1 and 2 standings here. Come on, come on. Indy fixed Division 1. Yeah, I'm showing, of course, Pinero probably got a really commanding lead there, so I think Pinero pretty much is a foregone conclusion. He's your Division 1 champion as it stands now. They have not updated any points here in Division 2 yet. They're still showing Cesar with the same margin over Matt, so we'll see those. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be really close. So congrats and best of luck to those two. They definitely are, and they're going to get called up to Division 1 next season. So I'm wishing them nothing but the best in their Division 2 championship battle right here. Yeah, nothing's updated yet. So final thoughts on tonight. And before we do that, actually, let's go through the final results for tonight here at Texas. Pablo Diaz Francis, great win. Just kind of left the other guys in his dust while they were fighting and pulled away. Gets his win here to close out the season. Chris Lolum in his, as far as I know, this is his first start here in the Monday Night Indy Split. The Monday Night Indy Fix Top Split. This is his first start, and he finished his second. Matthew Mercer, we see him in a lot of these races. Great finish on his part, P3. Rodrigo Franzoni. I think he just really spent his tires, if you ask me, and he finished fourth. Stephen Lee with a great finish there in fifth. Trey Shadid worked his way up to sixth. Ryan Doucette all the way from the back. I mean, he gained, 18 spots. He was the biggest gainer, and I guess you know him as a NASCAR ace, and this should be no surprise that someone with that skill set should be able to move up that many spots to P7. Matt Houston did what he needed to do his best in the Division 2 championship, gets himself a P8. Nate Seifert recovers after an incident, I believe part of the second caution. He recovers the P9. Dakota DeMade, Matt Houston's teammate there. Something happened to him on the last restart, the second to last restart. Not sure what happened, but he fell to the back, ended up recovering to a 10th. Mark Murphy, again, same thing with him. I'm not sure what happened to him, but he was among the leaders in the first stint. Fell all the way back to 11th. Recovered to 11th, actually. He fell back a lot further than that. Again, not sure what happened to him. McQuarrie 12th, Fabero 13th, Romanzini 14th, and James Kennedy in 15th. Moving on to the next stage, Cesar Cabral. I'm not sure what happened to him. Must have had some wall contact or something that kept the performance of his car down to finish 16th. Jesper Orman. This is the man that's probably the most upset out of this race. He had second place sewed up, and looks like he got the boot coming to the checkered there, possibly, and then as the result got pushed through the infield grass on the pit road, and then automatically you have an unsafe pit road entrance, and you're also speeding on pit road, and that's a 40-second penalty when you can't serve it in the race otherwise. Adriano Forporti 18th, Bustane 19th, Spots 20th. Rounding out the remainder of the field, Shimizu led some laps there, tried to work an alternate strategy, finishes 21st, Morea 22nd, Wagner 23rd, Miranda 24th, Ragon 25th, and Bencomo 26th. So we had a full field here tonight, 26 cars. Great way to finish out this season here, season 2 of 22. What do you think? What are you thinking here?
Sorry, I was wrapped up in something, wrapped up in the Jesper Orman just venting a little bit there. Run that by me again. Sorry, Gary.
I don't blame. I don't blame. So, what do you think of tonight's race, and then the season overall, and then of course next season is just a couple weeks away.
Oh, indeed it is. A couple of seasons away and a couple of weeks away on that one, and I can't wait to get started on it again because, man, this season was really good. It had its controversies, it had its great racing, it had its great finishes, as we come to expect from IndyCar, and this race was kind of a nice little microcosm of how this whole season went. Aside from the incident with Jesper Orman right now, it was and Jesper Orman at the end, it was really good racing. It was intense, but very but everyone respected each other, at least to a degree right now. Of course, there was that one moment, of course, where it went overboard, but of course, we're racers. We have emotions. We have our times when things don't quite go right and we get frustrated about it. And with Jesper Orman's incident, I totally understand it completely. So it was overall, great race. One of the better Texas races I've seen in a while, I think.
I think night racing has to do a lot to that. And I don't know why the powers that be with iRacing don't want to schedule more night races, maybe a little bit more packy type races, that type of thing, because those are always exciting to call and exciting to watch. But yeah, I think night had a lot to do with that. If I could be wrong.
I would agree with that one. The lower track temp made for more grip, and I think that was a big contributing factor as to why everything was as close as it was. And of course, everyone trying different lines on each other. And not only was it close, but it was close in an exciting way. It was close because everyone was trying different things, and they were staying very close to each other because of the merit of the different lines they took around here. So it certainly shows that Texas can be an exciting place, even if I still have my misgivings about the track updates lately. But overall, fantastic running tonight and crazy finish, great racing, and I think next season we're going to definitely have more of it.
All right, I think we shall get out of here with that note. I was thoroughly had a great time watching this race. So again, hopefully more night races, more competitive races, cooler track temps for the fixed series. We shall see. Before we do, and before we get out of here, just want to remind everybody, in about 2 weeks, join us for Michigan. That'll be the opening round at the Michigan International Speedway for week 1 or round 1 of the Monday Night Indy Fixed Top Split. Then we'll go to the road course at Daytona. Then we will move to the 1 mile oval at New Hampshire. Then they will go to the now no longer there, or at least in the process of being bulldozed, Chicagoland Speedway for week 4, Iowa for week 5, Kentucky, Indy Oval, Long Beach, Gateway, Pocono, Legacy, Texas to round out next season, and the Kansas Oval for week 12 of next season. It will be season 3 of 22. That is the calendar for next season. So if you like what you see, you make sure that you have the necessary minimum ratings in terms of iRating as well as your license. Maybe we too can see one of you guys watching from home in the top split. We would certainly like to see that. So that kind of rounds out the schedule for next season, and this season has been great. Thanks for everybody who taken time to have watched, help really grown the channel and really grown the viewership of the Indy Fixed Series, kind of the little brother to the Indy Open Series. We're not going to ever quite have quite the viewership of that, but anytime we can shine some light on these guys here in Fixed is a good thing. So we'll just wrap up with that. I think we should probably get on out of here then.
All right, then. On to the next season.
Yeah. So that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium from Texas is Pablo Diaz Francis, Chris Lolam, and Matt Mercer. That concludes the season, but join Steven and myself again in 2 weeks. We kick off round 1 of the Indy Fixed Top Split of season 3 of 22 from the Michigan International Speedway. Again, that's 2 weeks from tonight, June 13th, 2022. Coverage, as always, begins around 8:15 Eastern Time. That's 8:15 p.m. Eastern, and you can find everything here on YouTube at youtube.com/racefirst. Hey, we love bringing these races to you, but they're not easy and require time and money to produce. Because of your generosity and donations, we've been able to bring you commercial-free coverage of the last 2 Fixed Indy seasons. If you share our passion for the sport of IndyCar and enjoyed our coverage of the Monday Night Indy Fixed Top Split, please take time to visit our GoFundMe page. The link is in the description, and donate to our Season 2 22 and hopefully our Season 3 22 Monday Night Indy Fixed Top Split broadcast fund. We realize times are tough, so any contribution will be greatly appreciated. We thank you for watching and making us a part of your Monday evenings each and every week. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game's not easy, so please help support Race First with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below to let us know what you thought of tonight's race. And if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video, just like this. Bam. And if you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss out on more of Race Versus iRacing programming, just like this, including this Friday's coverage of the IndyCar iRacing Series 2 p.m. Eastern Time top split coming to you from Belle Isle in Detroit for the Detroit Grand Prix. Again, it's 2 p.m. Eastern right here on YouTube at youtube.com/racefirst. Keep your browsers set here for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge on all of iRacing. Race First, we know what Indy means. For business inquiries and to learn more about Race First and what we do, visit racefirst.com or follow us on Twitter. You can follow all of us on Twitter right here with our handles right at the bottom of the screen. So, for Stephen Larkamp, everyone at Race First, I'm Gary Gotza saying all good night. Thanks for watching, and to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, especially this Memorial Day weekend. Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Thanks again, everyone. Catch us again in 2 weeks as we will kick off Season 3 of 22 for the next race of the Monday Night Indy Fix Top Split. Be safe and good night.